Gung-ho reaction, a topic taboo. Hey there, kids, it's Folie do. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Dun 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 dun. Bum 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 bum.
Yes, it's weird.
That was the song that we know.
Yeah, that was the perfect rendition of it.
Of pan pan pan.
Pan pan pan, which means bread.
Bread, bread.
Which makes me really happy because I will never, mark my words, never stop eating carbs.
Me neither. Carbohydrates are my...
Your bread and butter?
Yeah. Yes.
What were
I
you
was
going
going
to
to say
say?
large carbohydrates. I don't know why.
Well, that's good too. I'll tell you the truth. I am happy with the way that I look, but I would throw that away to be able to still eat bread.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? One day we may have to.
That's
One
fine.
day our youthful
Metabolism
may just disappear. But you know what? We're 34.
And I
You
don't
are
mind.
almost
I'm
34.
almost 34.
This is not quite your birthday month, but close.
You know what, guys? If you want to remember my birthday real easy, just remember your history.
Mm-hmm.
Remember a very tragic day.
Yes, it's a wonderful thing to remember.
Pearl Harbor. It sounds so pretty. The words pearl and harbor.
Yes,
Lovely.
it really does. It really, really is deceiving. We have a fellow doo-doo head who is a Pearl Harbor baby as well.
She is Jenny, our beloved Jenny. And then our triplet, Jess, is only like a week later. We've got a whole cluster of doo-doo heads born around this time.
What a wonderful time to be alive. Amanda, she's a November baby, and her daughter is the same birthday as her.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It's amazing.
Cotton balls?
Yeah.
Did you induce? I mean, it doesn't even matter.
I don't think she did induce.
Whoa. Well, Ransom was almost born the same day as Vu, but our doctor
That's
induced
right.
him a day early so she could go on vacation.
That's
I
ridiculous.
know, I'm not bitter about it at all.
No.
If it hadn't been my first baby, I would have been like, screw it, I'll take whatever doctor is
Yeah,
on
'cause
call,
in the
but I
end,
was
you're like,
scared.
meh. Yeah. I had a different baby because... Dear God. I had a different midwife because mine wanted to spend Christmas with her family.
Oh my gosh, selfish much?
It was ridiculous.
Although it's a little selfish on your part to give birth around Christmas.
I guess so.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
just
It
clench.
wasn't on Christmas. It was New Year's.
New
It was
Year's.
He was born on the 30th.
Okay.
He was supposed to be born on Christmas, and then he was born on the 30th.
So he's born on New Year's?
New Year's, the day before New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should know that. You know, I have a confession about New Year's Eve.
What?
I don't really like it.
No, I like it.
You do?
Yeah, I have very fond memories of it. Growing up, we would watch the ball drop with my grandmother and my mom, and we never did anything really spectacular, but we stayed up, and that was fun to see. It was always so magical for me to see that.
Yeah.
And then every year since we did, I can remember almost every ball drop since I can
my
remember things.
goodness.
And I've carried it on with the kiddos. We always get poppers. We get like
Aw.
fake champagne for them and champagne for me.
Aw.
And we just have a party. We have a veggie tray and just love hanging out with each other. And
Maybe
then
you can
we
make
pop
me
'em.
love it again.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's have our own little get together.
Let's
this
try
year.
to cure my darkness.
Yes,
You know what it
do.
is?
You get little hats and
yeah,
stuff.
let's do hats. Let's do it
Yeah.
all.
You don't even have to watch the ball drop. You can just what we usually do is just play games.
Yeah.
And then have a
Games
game
I
night of
love.
it and then
I
wait.
love games.
Yeah, set an alarm for 10 minutes before and you know that it's about to happen. A lot of times the kids have fallen asleep. And one year in particular was not very great. It was right before the ball was about to drop and little MJ, I think she was 8. It was the first year that I acquired her. So she had to have been 8, I think. And
Rand's age.
yeah, Maggie's age. Yeah. And she was running through the house and she fell on one of Mackie's toys.
Oh, baby.
And busted her lip open. And we spent New Year's in the emergency room getting stitches.
Oh, poor baby.
Yeah, and
poor all of you. Although that's memorable.
It was memorable. Just 2 months before, in November, she had slammed her finger in the car door.
Oh.
And we had to take her, she had like tiny fracture in her finger, and she had to have the blood, like they drill into her fingernail to release the pressure, and just blood squirts out because it turned black immediately, and it was just build up and turning like swelling, so they had to relieve that pressure somehow.
Okay, I'm sorry. Aside from it being MJ, who I love, that's kind of awesome.
It was really cool. I
kind of want to see that.
I'm telling you what, she is nothing like me at all.
She wouldn't freak out over it?
She didn't. I mean, she cried. She was not happy about it, obviously.
Yeah.
Who would be?
Me, maybe, but that's
she was not hysterical. Wow. And when she fell and hit her face, she was not hysterical. She was crying, and she was nervous about getting stitches. I was far worse.
Oh, I bet.
Just the feeling, like, how when one of your kids gets hurt, that feeling of just sheer, like, there's no other feeling quite like it. You don't feel like there's anything that you can do, and and you want to do everything.
Yes.
You feel helpless, and you want to feel.
You feel completely out of control because that's your whole world.
Yes. How bad is it? How bad are they feeling? You never want them to feel pain, period.
And you, even though it's not your fault, you instantly blame yourself.
Yes. 100%. And I felt really bad, especially with the finger, because I locked the door. Like, she slammed it, and then I'm sitting there pushing the lock button, and she's like, oh my gosh. Oh.
My mom rolled my head up in the car window once. But it wasn't actually painful, but I did totally freak out.
Well, yeah. I mean,
it took her a while to notice as well. See, I think my problem with New Year's Eve is because I've always had a bit of a dark streak in me. I realized that the ball drop was sort of a farce because of time zones.
Yes.
And for some reason that made me like, this is all a meeping lie.
Yeah. It kind of is. And actually, I wasn't smart enough as a child to realize that. So to me, it was just sheer magic.
Well, that's better.
Yes. But now, that's why we don't even watch it. We don't watch the ball drop or any of that stuff because it's like, well, it's not real.
We'll just do our own thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have even like, as a kid, we did like pretend ball drops of our own that we would make a ball and
I love
it.
I love that.
We should do that. You know what we should do? We should somehow figure out how to attach hundreds of balloons to the ceiling and have a pullover that the kids can pull, and then they all just
run around in them.
Yes.
And there's glitter inside each balloon
that they can pop, and then you guys clean up.
Yeah. We'll definitely do that with your vacuum.
Yes.
I love vacuuming though.
Do
you know that about
satisfying.
Me? It's my favorite chore.
It's actually Mackie's chore because it's a very simple chore to do, but I do it during the day, usually before Mackie gets the chance to come home and do it. And I love it. I love making the patterns and the carpet. Stop laughing. I love making the lines go back and forth, and just the feeling of it being done. It can transform a room.
Yeah, like making your bed.
It transforms it immediately.
This is now a housekeeping podcast. Housekeeping and organization.
Ooh, speaking of housekeeping.
Ooh,
I have got some housekeeping.
What did you do?
I meeped up a little bit, guys, and a lot of you noticed. Thank you for pointing it out. I introduced Stephanie's freaky story for a Halloween episode. I introduced it, and then I said, wasn't that amazing? Shouldn't she be a
and then I said something
podcaster?
Like, oh, wow.
Yes, but we completely left out. I completely left out. I am in charge of editing, and I completely left out her part.
To be fair, I don't know the first thing about editing. So the fact that the episode went out at all is a huge improvement from what it would be if that were my job.
Well, and the thing is, we had, 3 different
Yeah, we had 3. Well, we had 1 recording.
Mhm.
No, we had 2 recordings.
2 recordings and then an EVP.
Yes.
And so right? Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah. So I downloaded the recording that Stephanie sent me.
Mm-hmm.
I had it ready to go, and I even remember putting it into Audacity, which is the software that we use for editing. I put that into there, but I think I deleted it before I copied it and put it in place. So I'm going to put that in.
Yes.
I'm going to put that in right here. This is Stephanie's story.
This is Stephanie's story.
We are out of Halloween, but we still like the weird and spooky.
We're still creepy a meep.
A meep. So here it goes.
Here it goes.
One of my earliest memories was living in a house in Ohio on Tucker Road, and it was a night where my grandparents and my great-grandmother were visiting, and I was in my bedroom, and I remember sleeping with my arms above my head and being tickled and being violently yanked out of bed. And I may have been 5 or 6 years old, but it was very vivid, obviously, in my mind. And when I was pulled to the floor, I freaked out and ran to my mother, who was sleeping on the fold-out couch in our family room. And when I did, I crawled into bed with her. She was very sleepy. Obviously, she said, yes, come in, sleep with me, very groggily. And I tucked in with her. And I remember hearing footsteps, very small, very, very fast, running down the hall after me. And the last thing I remember is the bed lifting as if something got underneath it. That's the only thing I remember from that night, but it was so vivid in my mind that I still don't sleep with my arms above my head. Never again, ever. It was a long time ago. My parents to this day still believe that it was my brother who may have done it, but my brother was spending the night at a friend's that night. I remembered that 100%, that he was not even in the house. So it was not him. I don't know what it was, but from then on, I don't sleep with my arms above my head, so I don't get tickled and pulled off the bed. And to this day, that house still exists, and every time I drive by it, I don't get a good feeling. And it's still there in Ohio, and we drive by it all the time because my grandparents still live in Ohio. So that's Tucker Road, and that's my story of the arm tickling when I was a kid.
Oh my gosh, that was the creepiest thing I've
Isn't that
ever
crazy?
heard.
And so funny. It's like the funniest
Stephanie,
story.
You are amazing.
We love you. And Stephanie also sent me another clip.
Ooh. From
So-
your face, I can tell it's disturbing.
It really is. I'm going to go ahead and tell it instead of putting the clip in,
Okay.
because it's a little bit long, and I could tell she was a little bit emotional about it, as
my.
I would be as well.
I can't wait to hear it.
She was at her studio. She's a fellow photographer, and she has an office in downtown Fayetteville. Should I
Fayetteville?
say that?
I mean,
She has her own
yeah,
office.
she's got a website advertising it, right?
That's
So-
true. That's true. Yeah. So
And her home address.
it's a little the house is very old. It's a house that's been turned into like the rooms have been turned into offices.
Oh, yes.
Right. So she goes there to do some editing at like 10 in the PMs, and she's in her room, door shut, and she can hear something outside. Like she noticed, and she said that she noticed, I hope I'm not getting all this wrong, I should have listened right before I said this, but she noticed when she got there that there was like the hall light was on, but nobody was there. So, whatever. She's in there and she's hearing the way that she described it was like somebody who's blind who is using their the stick to feel around. Is like at first she thought maybe it was an animal, like it sounded kind of like dogs' claws on hardwood floors trying to tip tap around, and then she said it was like hitting walls and doors around her.
That sounds very poltergeisty.
Yes. And she was frozen, as you know, as you can imagine.
Yes.
She was frozen stiff, and she sat there as quiet as she could be. This ended up happening like this. She was hearing things, and then it was around 1:00 in the morning that she finally was like, "Screw this, I'm leaving." And she got, she has like frame samples like I have back here. She had a metal frame sample and was going, like, had it in her hand ready to attack, because she thought, you know, if it's like a homeless person who was trying to find shelter and is gonna attack or something, like she wants to be ready. And she goes out and there's nothing, nobody, and she just leaves, jets, goes home, and then just like immediately collapsed into her husband's arms and was panicked.
Stephanie.
And the next morning, and you could tell, I mean, Stephanie is one of my best friends. Yeah. I've heard her talk. I've heard her tell me stories 100 times. Her voice, she was like, I still don't feel the same. Like, I didn't feel right when I got home, and I still don't feel right now.
Oh my gosh. And when did this happen?
This happened on Friday or Thursday night.
So this was recent.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
So I want to talk to her about it, and I feel bad. I haven't, we've been in Kansas City for the weekend, so I haven't checked in on her. But, I can't even, that terrifying feeling. Oh my gosh.
When something just feels wrong.
It feels wrong, and you can straight up hear it. You're like, this is not something that happens, and there's something happening that does, like, no.
That actually reminds me of last night in my house.
Oh, good. Do tell.
So last night I decided to, this is ridiculous, but I think millennials will understand. I decided to not go to bed by playing on my phone like I normally do. That's how I wind down.
So weird.
I know.
By playing Panda Pop.
Yes.
Which, thank you very fucking much. Meep.
Everybody download it.
I downloaded it, guys. Please don't. Please. I'm on level 60 right now. 60.
I wonder what level I'm on. I can't even imagine.
3 days.
It's probably in the thousands.
I mean, it's so addicting.
It is so satisfying and enjoyable, and the rewards and the challenges change every time, and the pandas are so cute.
Right now you have unlimited lives.
Okay, this podcast is over. This is going to be our first 15-minute
lives
episode
for the next day. I know. Panda Pop, this is sponsor us. We love you.
Sponsor us. We give you all your business.
Oh yeah,
whatever that means. So I normally play Panda Pop and listen to a podcast, and usually it's something inspirational, like kind of nice and fluffy, or sometimes it'll be a murder podcast, just depending on my mood. So last night I was like, you know what? I'm not only not going to do that, I'm going to practice such good sleep hygiene that I'm going to turn off my phone altogether. Oh my gosh. It was switched off next to my bed.
I know what it was. Why you decided.
Why?
You're like, I cannot wake up to another 250 mother meepin texts from Melody and Jess.
Occasionally that does happen. We go on texting rampages, and then one of us will be busy and the other one will get like 300 unread texts. It's the best, though. I love it.
It's usually you or me, and today it was Jess that had it happen to her.
Yes,
so it was
finally.
fun.
We need to do that to her more often.
Yeah, we do.
When we're in the same room, we'll just text each other. So I go to bed kind of early. Everything just feels a little different, you know? Like everything felt quieter, and I felt like I was more in touch with my surroundings somehow.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Vu stayed up late working on his art, as he often does. He's working on some really awesome stuff right now. So I'm alone in the bedroom. I turn off all the lights, and I just feel weird. And all night I have weird dreams. I don't even remember what they were, but I remember, weird. Yeah, I remember feeling not right and feeling like something was going on in the room while I was sleeping, you know? So when I get up this morning, and this is the first time this has ever happened, I was making my coffee, and Vu was like, so I was up, and he shows me what he's working on. I'm like, that's beautiful, babe. And he's like, why were you walking around last night?
Shut up.
He goes, I heard you. I was like, I thought maybe you couldn't sleep.
No.
Yeah. So that's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
Pretty freaking weird.
That's a freaking weird thing.
Yeah.
Oh, did you freak out?
I was like, I felt weird I was like, I was sleeping, but I felt weird. Every time I woke up, I felt scared and I didn't know why.
Oh my God. Okay, so do you remember how I told the story about, were you finished with yours?
Yes.
Okay. You remember how I told the story about how it felt like I was picked up and thrown down?
Thrown down, yes, I do.
Josh listened. For those of you who may just be listening the first time, Josh is my roommate. We sleep in different rooms and different beds across the hall from each other.
Mm-hmm. No funny business.
No. Ew, Amy. Not ew to Josh. He is lovely and the best guy that has ever lived.
He
Seriously.
is. Any girl would be lucky to sneak across the hall. Never mind. Sorry, Josh. That's weird. Go on.
But he texts me the next morning as he's listening and said,
gosh.
Melody, do you not remember me telling you how I felt like I was picked up and thrown down?
What?
Yeah. Yes. And it all flooded back to me.
Oh.
Let's pause and let's get Josh.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So Josh is here now. Say hi, Josh.
Hello.
he's a little podcast shy right now. Okay. In the last episode, I was talking about how last week I had woke up to a horrible terror, like feeling like I had been picked up and thrown down onto my bed. And I came to your room, freaked out. And then you only heard about, I kept it quiet for like 2 days what had actually happened. I didn't tell you, right?
Correct.
You can hold it a little further away if you want. So what do you have to say about this?
I've had a few instances of, I hope they're dreams, that this also took place.
What also took place?
I've had a couple of dreams where or moments where, because I do the thing sometimes where I sleep, but I don't hit REM sleep, so I'm very aware of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a few times where I thought something kept walking by my bed and thinking it was Jake, but knowing Jake, the dog, was
in the kitchen.
And I've had a few times where I thought I felt something lean on my bed. But the one that sticks out most was one of those nights where, once again, the entire night, I felt like I was pretty aware of what was going on and I never felt fully asleep. And then once again, I feel something walk back and forth like Jake does on his occasion when he has access to your room. He'll come through my room and just keep coming back and forth. And I just kept noticing it, and ignoring it. And then it felt like the thing would come by and stay by me for a moment, and then leave, and then come back and stay by me for a moment. And for that brief second, I thought it was our dog, and was getting ready to ask him if he needed to go outside, but then I knew he was in the kitchen. So I try to just ignore it, thinking I'm dreaming.
My eyes are watering.
And then I noticed that it starts making its way onto my bed and then getting off and so on. And it does that a couple of times. And then I feel like it turned a light on in my room.
I don't know this part.
I felt like, because I remember peeking through my eyes and seeing light. And so I feel like there is light. And then all of a sudden I feel lift off my bed. And then I feel like it's something trying to carry me out of the room. And I keep my eyes closed the entire time. And I kick the doorway as we walk by, pretending to be asleep to like keep from leaving the room. My only thought is don't let it leave the room with you. And so I kick it and it walks back with me a little bit, like it stumbles, and then it walks forward again and I kick again. And on the third time it tries to go through, I kick really hard and we go all the way back to my bed, and then I feel it slam me down. And then that was that.
Okay, that is so much more than what you told me the first time. All you said before was that you felt like you were like the thing walking by you, and that you were picked up and put down. Oh my god!
I don't like going into super detail on creepy things.
Oh my god! I don't like. You're gonna have to come over again, Amy, while I edit this shit, because holy mother of pearl, this is our house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, what do you guys think? Should we sage our house?
It would hurt.
It wouldn't. I mean, listen, I have said over and over that I am a little bit skeptical of all of this, but the fact, like, I know what I felt, and I trust you more than anybody. I know you know what you felt too.
I know I don't have a mic, but Josh is probably the most skeptical person I know.
Skeptical and honest. And I think those two things probably because of each other, like help each other too. Like, you don't believe BS. You don't tell BS. What do you think, Josh?
I mean, my logical brain just says, oh, it's that level of sleep where chemicals are being released, and I just think that was probably what happened.
Do you really think
I think it was just a dream.
Do you think that that's what it was in my instance too? Okay, it's very strange because this was what, it was like a week or 2 weeks before it happened to me, right?
Oh no, it's been months.
It hasn't been months.
Months.
No, it has not.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I might be a little bit of an exaggerator.
But
it hasn't been months.
It's been months since it happened to you, right?
Been months since it happened to me.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't been that long. It's been maybe a month or 2 months.
No, because it was a long time ago, and it was also cold when it happened. So it would have been January, February.
No, it would. Okay, we're gonna get into a fight right now, a fisticuff, because I will foot race you right now to prove. I don't know what a foot race will do to prove my point, but it was not that long ago that you told me this story.
Oh, not long ago that I told it to you, but I didn't tell you after it happened.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Do you think you could in the future? Let me ask you this. Do you always hear footsteps in our hallway?
I hear the creaking of the hallway because I assume it's just the unit kicking on. And
I said it. You heard me last week say that have been multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
I may exaggerate, but there have been, in the 7 years that we've been here, there have been multiple times that I have stood up and even hollered down our hall, MJ? Mac?
Mm-hmm.
Josh? And it's nothing. And the sound stops.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the unit kicking in.
It could be the...
I'm going to kick something's unit, though.
It could be the judges of Chopped.
Oh, really? We're going to go there. It could be the judges of Chopped. Do we have time for him to tell this story? Okay, let me start by saying this. I know that... Okay, just tell the story.
Okay, just like the scary creature picking us up dreams, I was in my bed.
Every time, poor Josh, every time I get scared, I don't like... well, here's the thing. Often when I get scared, I scream for Josh. I'm like, Josh, come in here, Josh. And if he doesn't, then I burst into his room. And it never has happened that he hears me when I scream. So every time that this happens, I burst into his room.
And it is a burst. It is a, oh shit, burst.
In my defense, your door catches.
It's true.
I have to push hard.
She has to kick it. Okay, once again, sleeping in my bed. This is more subtle. My door opens, and she doesn't enter my room. She's standing in the hallway, wakes me up, and just goes, Josh, I have to leave. And then just proceeds to walk down the hallway. And of course, I'm like, what? So I get up and I say, Melody, talk to me. At this point, as I walk down the hallway, she's already made it to the chair in the living room, and she's just sitting in the chair with her hands in her face. And
I thought I was maybe putting on my shoes.
yeah, I think there were shoes in front of you. And I go, where are you going? Why do you have to leave? What's wrong? Are you okay? Thinking maybe she needs to go to the ER. She's having issues with something. And she goes, I have to leave or they're going to kill me. And I say, who's going to kill you? Trying not to laugh. Because there is sheer terror.
Why would you laugh?
There is sheer terror in her face.
I was genuinely freaked out.
And she goes, I lost the second round of Chopped, and now they're going to kill me. And I say, oh, sweetie, you've had a bad dream.
And I'm like, no.
And the best thing that I wish I could explain, but I can't, and I wish everyone could see, because I saw in her face, within seconds, give me a look of, what the hell are you talking about? And then it switches to, what the hell am I talking about? And then a realization that she had a dream.
I remember this so vividly too. Like, I remember the dream. It was like we were in almost a dungeon, like a castle, where you like I can see the brick of the place that it was taking place, and we had been watching so much Chopped as a family. What? Before the kids would go to bed. That would be what we were watching. And so in my dream version of Chopped, if you didn't win, you got killed. You literally got chopped. Let's make this the new reality TV show. It's perfect. So I can remember even like walking into his room because I was asleep, but I was awake. Like I knew I needed to get out of here. I had to escape. And I do remember the exact moment of realization too, of like, oh.
Just the fact that she had a combination of horror and insult on her face when I first let her know that it was a dream, and then this dawning realization. It was priceless.
Oh, Josh, thank you.
Can I go now?
Yes.
You did awesome.
You did do great. Thank you, Josh, so much.
First of all, I want to say, nobody take that idea.
No, that's ours.
Because that's mine. It's going to be my first reality show.
TM on that, right?
Yeah, TM. TM on...
See with a circle. Whatever it is.
To the death.
Yes.
To the death. I mean, that's where our society is going. We all know it.
Yeah.
We are on the forefront.
Yes. I mean, I had this dream 4 or 5 years ago. Who knew?
I'm really glad that you told Josh in your dream state that you were leaving. Because who knows how far you would have gotten.
I know. Me too.
Ooh, the microphone is really warm after Josh has been holding it.
It was so close to his face. Could you see our levels?
Yeah,
like,
I was watching his
through the roof.
Foot tapping too. He was like, I've been taken hostage and forced to be on a podcast.
He wants his own podcast too, which I think that he would be great at because he really is so funny.
Be. Yeah, he is. He tells great stories.
I was just going to say, he's obviously a great storyteller.
Yeah,
so.
This was just a tiny baptism of fire.
Yes.
That's all.
Oh, his face when I said, we need you to tell a story. It was not a happy face. Guys, tweet us, Instagram us, message us, text us, send a carrier pigeon, Facebook message. If you want to hear more from Josh every once in a while.
Yes.
Or if you think that Josh should have a podcast of his own.
Yeah, or if you think he totally sucked, and we'll be sure to tell him.
Send us all those too, definitely. And now for a quick break to hear a word from our newest, completely real, super true, non-fictional, not made up sponsor, Chopped to the Death. Hello guys, and welcome back to Chopped to the Death.
Is reality becoming a little boring? Do you need your steaks to be a little bloodier?
We have something for you that's not only rare, but downright unheard of. Chopped to the Death. Starring your favorite hosts, Wacko, Yakko, and Chopped.
Over saute the arugula and be flayed alive.
Sear the chicken a little too long? You'll be searing the viewer's ears with your piercing screams.
Give us food poisoning? We'll let our celebrity guest judge, Lizzie B, decide
Hello.
how many whacks you've earned.
Chopped to the death. You've been warned.
Our next episode coming in your dreams.
Chopped to the death.
Chopped to the death.
Chopped to the death. This week we hear from
Expert taster, Jeffrey Dahmer. And enjoy our special bacon episode with the Canadian pig killer, Robert Pinkerton.
And goodbye. So should we get to our main gigs here?
I feel like we should.
All right. Am I going to go or are you going to go?
I don't know. I don't know anything right now. I don't know what your subject matter is, but I'm
No.
so curious.
Piss. Josh!
What, did you spill wine in your lap?
Butler!
I need more wine in here.
I spilled my wine.
And then things happened, and we ended up eating more Swedish delectables.
Just call them balls of chocolate.
Chocolate balls.
Chocolate balls. And you also spilt wine, too.
I did, because the universe has to even itself out,
Yep.
and we always have to do the same things at the same time.
That's right. Crossing the finish line, spilling our wine.
I pull up, and you're in the driveway dancing to the song that I'm listening to
Yes.
with the exact choreography in the place that it's playing in my car. I screamed, but I shouldn't have. I should have been like, yeah, of course.
As I see you driving down the road, your face is in utter shock and amazement. Amazement? I'm a little tipsy.
When
This is
you
my third.
think
drink of wine.
about, oh, I've only had two. Where's my third?
You'll get it.
When you think about just the exact timing it would take for me to get in my car, get everything started, fire up that music, then I have it playing on repeat, and I pull into your driveway at the moment that you're dancing with your hips. Bam, 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 bam. It was freaky.
Oh my gosh. At any random moment, you could drive by our house if you knew where my house was and see either myself or me and Amy doing a random dance
Yes.
in the driveway. We've had people literally stop to watch.
My favorite was that guy who thought he was so cool. He pulls down your Oh no. He pulls into your street and slows down just enough to kind of give us this nod and this, yeah, looking good. And then he realizes that the other side of your road is blocked off
for construction.
and he has to awkwardly turn around and drive back by us.
But he did the same thing when he went by the second
Did
time.
he?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So he wasn't even ashamed. Of course he wasn't.
Loved it. Also, that's how people get murdered.
Yeah, that too.
But we haven't been murdered yet.
No, we would have murdered him.
Exactly.
Justifiable homicide, like we're gonna be talking about. Don't hold me to that. You want to tell me something
Justifiable?
weird? It's debatable.
Okay.
You
Sorry if you can
tell
hear all that.
me
Clink, clunk,
once
clink.
you hear my story in a little bit, but I want to hear yours first. I have no idea what it's about.
Have you heard of Polybius?
No, it sounds like some kind of sex act.
It really does.
It really does.
Okay. Well, Polybius is a conspiracy / urban legend / space shooter abstract action puzzle game.
Whoa.
An arcade game.
Ooh.
Mhm.
And is it like an enchanted arcade game?
So here's the thing. Close your eyes.
Okay.
Imagine yourself, your hipster, your hipster before hipsters were hipster self.
That's me.
1981, Portland,
2 years
Oregon.
before I was born.
Yes, yes. You're that hipster. You were you before you were you.
Yeah, guys.
Okay, so Portland, Oregon, 1981, a new arcade game arrives on the scene, only to be pulled away just weeks after.
That's strange.
Okay, so just imagine you're like, I mean, arcades are blowing up at this time. Like, they are the place to go. I remember my childhood was going to Aladdin's Castle, going to the arcade on the mall. That was the fun, right?
Yeah.
You have a roll of quarters in your pocket, jingling around. Okay.
And I'm happy to see you.
I had 3 glasses of wine, okay?
I've had 2, but I want another one.
Maybe it's a Ziploc bag full of quarters. Maybe it's, I don't know.
They're moist
However
because
big the bulge
your hand's
is.
been going in and out.
Amy. Oh my gosh. And you are neck deep. Neck deep? Is that it? Neck deep?
Neck deep works for me. I don't know.
Knee deep?
Knee deep?
Is that what's the saying?
I don't know anymore. Balls deep. I don't know. You're in it. You are in it to win it.
You are neck, knees, and balls deep
It's
into
all-
saving Pauline from Donkey Kong. What is it you spy in the corner?
What is it?
Shiny. I'm shiny. Bing, 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 bing. So shiny. Your face. Have you not seen Moana? I wish. Oh, I wish the goblins would come and take you away. I'm sorry.
No,
That
don't
one.
never apologize for quoting The Labyrinth.
Thank you. Ooh, I'm so glad you knew. I wish that there would have been a camera when you were shaking your head about Moana. No. What is this shiny new machine? You haven't heard tale of a new game being brought into the mix?
No, but I am drawn
Mysterious.
like a moth
like
to
a
the-
moth to the flame.
to a Yankee candle.
Pumpkin
fresh
spice,
sugar
Yankee.
vanilla, pumpkin spice.
That one's for you, Jess. Because she used that in our Angry Apples game. Warm vanilla sugar.
She did.
Okay. Is this just a new beta testing game?
Oh yeah,
Who cares? You're feeding it what it wants.
exactly. You're intrigued. Why not? You got that moist roll of quarters. Just
That is right.
bulging.
Just put those quarters in to the slot whence they belong.
I'm open for business.
That's right. Hours pass and your head is spinning. Quite literally. You feel dizzy, unable to focus. You're suffering from a monstrous headache. You go home and later you're met with frightening night terrors,
Oh gosh.
nausea, and sudden depression. This could be the result of the strobing lights of a glitchy prototype of the Tempest, or is it our government at play?
Is it indeed?
I mean, government in play, arcade game. Come on, what do the two have in common?
Flashing lights? No.
I can bring any story in like back around to MK Ultra.
It's all a conspiracy involving MK Ultra.
I mean, listen, MK Ultra is everywhere. And I'm going to get to that story one day. I promise. But
I suggest it every single week, but I think she knows it yields so much power.
There's so much. There's so many stories. It went on for so long, and there are still people coming out of the woodwork.
Plus, if we're part of it, so if you're listening to this podcast, it's too late for you.
Yeah, you are already a part of it.
You're gonna be unshopped to the death.
Okay, so apparently this game became so popular that people were lining up to play, and there is an account from the arcade owner, one of the arcade owners, and it was said that there were only like 7 of these games. But it was said by the arcade owner that there were mysterious men in black standing around and doing something inside the machines. And then they would walk away. So it was like they were getting data from the machines. Mm-hmm. So some people believe that it was this government game that they were doing this mind control on these people, because apparently the game was pretty trippy. It was like...
It's such a good idea.
I mean, it really is. It really is. The arcade, like... The all I can think of is Satanic Panic. The arcade panic was going crazy.
Well, I mean, it's willing children who are willing to pay to have you collect the way their eyes and their fingers move, the way their brains react. I mean, why not?
It's so true. So this happens for a couple weeks, and then the game was pulled because the boy had an epileptic seizure while playing, and it disappeared. None. Gone. Like, no trace of them remain anywhere. So, I mean, some people are like, well, maybe they got rid of them because if they really did do something that caused these seizures, then they would get rid of them. But
to where there's no trace or evidence.
No trace. I mean, nobody took like the motherboard out.
Yeah,
and
a game
put them
could
into
have a warning. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and there have been games like that.
Yeah.
There are plenty of games that have warnings on them that if you have any history of seizures, not to play it, that they can cause seizures.
Yeah.
There's flashing lights, and especially in the 80s when this kind of thing was pretty new, people aren't used to seeing that kind of thing, and that flashing, like it could happen. So here's where MK Ultra comes in, right? Okay. So in the aftermath of World War II, the U.S. government instituted Operation Paperclip. This was an operation used to research mind control and behavior modification techniques.
I'm sorry, but that's the most adorable sounding operation I've ever heard.
Operation Paperclip. They used code names like Project Artichoke, Project Bluebird, and MK Ultra.
They know they're being cute now.
Yeah, they do. They have to make it as
innocuous sounding.
Yes, that wasn't the word I was going for. I was going to say like sweet and dumbed down, but my words aren't as good as yours. So for those of you who do not live under a rock, you may be thinking 11 from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And for those of you who are thinking this is a conspiracy in itself, frickin' look it up. It is not. I'm going to go into MK Ultra. I'm going to study every single day this week and come up with a really good story for you out of the multiple that they are. This was real, guys. From the 50s.
Be together.
Yes. Between the 50s and the 70s, they had these real operations where they performed on unsuspecting citizens of the United States using psychotropic drugs like LSD. They would forcefully give these people LSD. They did things like
I mean, this was in the 60s,
Mhm.
you'd think they could have gotten willing volunteers. But they don't. They didn't want people to know.
That's true. I mean, the thought that, okay, so in the 70s, like 73-ish, I think, is when it was brought to light that this was a real thing. Somebody mishandled some files and some information was leaked about these, but I'm sorry, that all sounds BS to me. But so it was ended. This whole MK Ultra was ended, but I feel like if you really think that it was abolished, that you're crazy.
You're naive.
You're naive. You can go on CIA.gov. You can go on the CIA's website and they have declassified information that you can read all about MK Ultra. And part of me is like, is that to, I don't know. Are
to
these the truth?
us?
Yeah, it's so crazy and it's real. And I really, truly think it's happening around us. And while it may seem far-fetched that they would do it with a game system, at that time, it really doesn't.
Who knows what all they were trying? I mean, they could have just been throwing everything at the wall to see what stuck.
Yep.
Well,
apparently this game itself the graphics were kind of the kind of the look and feel that people who are having an LSD trip see. It was very colorful and like weird geometric patterns.
What if it was in like the hot dogs and the cotton candy and the
Well,
popcorn?
think of how easy it is. You know, I remember as a kid, people telling me, don't take temporary tattoos from people. Don't take, if somebody tells you to put like this piece of paper on your tongue, like don't take it, because people were dropping acid on these things and giving them to kids. And you can so easily, these people who were part of MK Ultra were trained to be able to slip these unsuspected citizens LSD without them ever knowing. So how hard would it be to either, for one, figure out a way to make a gaming system make you trip like that, or to put it on the joystick of the game itself?
In an arcade.
If they were hanging out, I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to do. Also, the government has famously used video games as ways to get info from players in the past. The game Battlezone used first-person pseudo 3D graphics combined with a viewing goggle, which means that was basically our first VR game, right? And a version called the Bradley Trainer, also known as Military Battlezone as Army Battlezone or Military Battlezone, was designed for use by the U.S. Army as target training for gunners on the Bradley fighting vehicle.
And wake up, my friends. If you don't think that they're mining our information constantly through our phones now.
Through our phones, I mean, there is not one thing that you do, pretty much period, that you don't put in your sign up through Facebook, sign up via email. Like, you are monitored everywhere you go.
They know what I eat. They know where I shop. They know what routes I take every day.
Yeah.
They know how much I exercise. They're unscrupulous monsters. Maybe
Really?
some of them.
So, I don't know.
I don't either.
The other, a lot of people also say that it was just an urban legend, like it's made up. So, a little bit of history. Polybius was a Greek cryptographer / historian, and he said no historian should put anything onto record without interviewing someone to find out if it is true. So maybe that's the whole joke. Maybe Polybius was made up by somebody, and it really is an urban legend, and the whole name of the whole thing is the joke of it. You know what I mean?
Wake up and either opt out or just play along.
Yeah.
But it's all a game.
You know something else?
What's that?
So, I I know people who know people.
Oh, you do.
And I know a people who would know something about this.
And if you are one of those people that we know, or that you know those people that know people that we know, you tell them.
Yes. So this particular people that I know said that, yeah, he knows about it.
Oh.
And he has one of the games.
No.
And is working on restoring it at this very moment.
Do not come after him, government.
I know. That's
Let
what I
him
said.
complete his
I made
work.
sure to say, I made sure to not say his name so that the men in black wouldn't come looking for him. But
I almost gave some identifying characteristics, but I'm glad I stopped myself.
Whew.
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 Oh, gosh. We just saved his life.
We really did.
That is crazy. I've never heard of that before.
Here's the thing. I was searching. I am constantly. I swear the CIA. Louise. The
CAI knows you're a threat.
Has to be on to me at this point because for as many times as I have searched MK Ultra, it's absolutely ridiculous, and there's no way that they're going to believe that I'm just.
Well, and they know
doing
we
this.
text each other, and I searched them today, not to give any spoilers to myself, but because I didn't know how to write MK Ultra.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to send it in a text. I'm going to do it correctly.
That's right, and I swear, I'm bringing it to you guys. And at this point, maybe you've looked it up. Maybe you already know and you're uninterested in it, but how could you be uninterested in MK Ultra? There's so much
what are
to
you?
tell.
Just a sheep?
Ugh! Yes.
I'm sorry.
So
that's low and wrong, and
right.
anyone who says sheep should be slapped.
Is that true?
I don't know. All I know is that when people get really angry on the internet, they start calling everybody sheep.
I mean, what doesn't somebody get angry on the internet for?
Nothing. And that's the whole fun of the internet.
It really is.
We could do so much with it.
Yeah.
But it's way more fun to just fight with people.
Yet so little.
Acquaintances. Or people we don't even know.
Yep.
Yeah.
All across the world. When there's never been a better time to fight with the entire world than now.
Are you bored? Because you could start a fight in 2 seconds. Maybe even with a famous person.
Yeah.
Because they are notoriously insecure, and sometimes they'll tweet back.
Yeah, that's true.
If that's your greatest hope, I mean, if it makes you feel alive, go for it.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
Whatever makes you feel whole.
I think I'm going to start writing mean stuff to Jason Bateman. I have no problem with him.
He's so. Will you do that? And then, like, when he takes the bait, will you be like,
The bait.
I do.
Yeah,
when
you
he
can
takes the bait. Sorry, I was fantasizing.
She went to a different place.
I took the bait. When he replies, will you just be like, I only did this because my dear friend Melody
Wants to make out with you.
Yeah, she would let you make out with her for like 30 seconds straight.
Yeah. 30 seconds uninterrupted.
Yeah, and maybe you could like feel her waist also. Don't slip your hand up too high. Listen,
Take
she's
it
not
slow.
that kind of girl.
It's hey now. Just
Hey
slow
now.
down, Jason.
Take it slow, but maybe next time you can touch her boobie.
That's what I'm going to tell him. And he's going to tweet right back.
He will. He'll be like, give me her info.
That's 60 seconds
ASL.
at most. Then
you
I get to
remember
touch
that?
part of a boobie.
On AOL chat rooms. ASL.
No. Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah.
Age, sex, location.
Yeah, it took me so long to figure out what that meant.
That was a different time.
Yeah.
That was a really dumb time.
It was both. So I am dying as if I've been stabbed multiple times.
Or perhaps hit with many blows from an axe.
Ooh, tell me more.
So I really want you to look at this image of this woman and just tell me, what do you think of her and what you think she's capable of?
I think her brow game is strong.
Nice. Her eyes were, I have to say, don't take this the wrong way, they remind me a little bit of
I
yours.
was just gonna say that. I really was. She's gorgeous. And I'm not
Excellent
saying
bone
that.
structure.
She's great bone structure.
Mm-hmm.
She's got, I mean, like, she's put together.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, her eyes are, and it may be because this image is like green.
Yes, it's green filtered. I don't know how that happens. I mean, it's an old photo.
But you can definitely tell that she had lighter eyes like I do, like a blue or a light green.
The kind of eyes that can be so kind or so scary.
This weekend, MJ looked at me and was like, "Oh, Mom, you freaked me out. Your eyes look clear."
Clear. Sometimes they do.
They do. One time I was so mad at somebody who I won't say, but I just do not like this human. I was so mad that my mom said that my eyes turned clear.
That's so fascinating, but I absolutely believe it.
Oh.
When you're feeling intense, your eyes do get lighter. I don't know how it works.
Mm-mm.
There's no explanation.
It's very weird.
But yes, this woman has clear eyes, and this woman is named Lizzie Andrew Borden. Now, we all know about Lizzie Borden with the axe who gave her father 40 whacks. And when she saw that she is done, she gave her mother 41. I think that's right.
Yeah.
I really should know it. She was born July 19th, 1860. In
1860.
Fall
I didn't
River.
realize.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Fall River, Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
Here at Massachusetts.
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 For the longest time, could not say Massachusetts. Massachusetts.
It's hard. It is hard.
Massachusetts.
She was born here in the United States in a lovely town, like I said, with a lovely name, Fall River. That sounds nice, doesn't it? It sounds refreshing.
Yeah.
She lived up until 1927. I mean, she was only 66, but that's not bad.
No, it isn't.
considering
Not
the
for that time. Yeah.
And her resting place, if you ever want to go see her, is in a place called Oak Grove Cemetery.
Oak Grove, Massachusetts.
Now, the reason that this particular unassuming, lovely Victorian woman with the fascinating eyes is so famous is because she was the subject of one of the first sensationalized murder cases in the media. People just went nuts over this case. But before I tell you what I think about it, let me tell you a little bit about her life. Lizzie was a spinster.
Aww.
She had a very wealthy father. His name was Andrew Borden, and she had a stepmother named Abby. Now, the funny thing about her father was that he was very, very wealthy. I mean, even, I don't remember what it would be in today's standards, but it's a good amount of money.
Yeah.
But he was also...
What did he do?
I don't even know. I should know
Who
that.
cares?
He did something that got him a lot of money. He had a lot of money for whatever reason. But he was also very cheap.
Oh, one of those.
Yes.
I get it.
So
He must have
Lizzie-
grown up poor.
He probably did.
Mm-hmm.
Lizzie lived with her father and her stepmother and her sister, and they did not live in a wealthy part of town, which would be expected for the amount of money they had. They lived in a modest home. Now, Andrew was so chintzy with everything that he made a lot of enemies. That might come in later. Also, he scrimped on things. He kept food for longer than it was good, forced the family to eat it. They were left without a lot of the conveniences that would have been modern conveniences at the time that they should have been able to afford. He said no. What some people say that Lizzie and Andrew had a good relationship. Others say they had a troubled one.
Oh.
And many say that she was not a big fan of her stepmother.
Oh.
Now, one of the major incidents that could be said to have damaged Lizzie's relationship with her father was the pigeons in the barn. Now, Lizzie, she wasn't considered a beauty, although I disagree. I think she was.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, she didn't have a lot of conquest. She was kind of a spinster.
Mm-hmm.
She...
I get it. Spinster life.
Spinster life. She did have hobbies, though, and some of them were a bit odd but endearing. One of them being in the barn behind her house. She kept a brood of pigeons. She would feed them and care for them. And it was, they became special to her, as things do. I mean, heck, a fish can become special to you
Absolutely.
if you care for it.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
A tiny demogorgon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Adorable they can be.
Yes.
I've got to talk about Stranger Things sometime. One day, Andrew decided he was fed up with these pigeon shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes into the barn with an axe and cuts off all of the pigeons' heads.
Why?
Why, indeed. Now, he didn't tell Lizzie he was going to do this. He left them for her to find.
What?
Yeah, when she came to care for them.
Okay, that says right there that they did not have a healthy relationship.
I agree. It's completely meeped up, and it pisses me off to no end. Is it justifiable axe murder? No. Okay, I know. But my emotions may say something else.
I mean, when you're in the throes of passion, you're the wrong kind of passion, but still.
Now tell me how you would feel in this situation.
Okay.
You're stuck in this house with the stepmother and father that you are not on good terms with. It is hot. You're all covered in thick Victorian clothing.
Mm-mm.
But now you're all sick. And the reason is because he's making you eat 2-week-old mutton.
Ugh. Remind me what mutton is again?
It's like lamb or something.
Oh, yeah.
Some kind of weird meat.
Yeah.
Makes me feel sick just saying it.
Ew.
Everyone in the house is vomiting.
Ugh.
Things are not going well.
No.
Now let's talk about what happened that day.
Hmm?
Let's first talk about Abby, who was the stepmother. Although cleaning the guest rooms was one of Lizzie and Emma's regular chores, Abby, that day, had gone up to make the bed. According to the forensic investigation, Abby was facing her killer at the time of the
investigation.
attack.
That's crazy that they
I know.
had that.
You know how good it
Like
was?
what they did then.
We'll go into how good that investigation was.
Go on.
She was first struck on the side of the head with a hatchet, which cut her just above the ear, causing her to turn and fall face down on the floor. They figured all this out, creating contusions on her nose and forehead. Her killer struck her multiple times, delivering 17 direct hits to the back of the head until she was dead. What happened to Andrew Jackson Borden that morning? After breakfast, Andrew and a visitor went to the sitting room where they chatted for almost an hour. And the visitor left to visit a relative at 8:48 a.m. and Andrew left for his morning walk sometime after 9 a.m. When he returned around 10:30 a.m., his key failed to open the door. So he knocked for attention. Bridget, the maid, went to unlock the door. Finding it jammed, she uttered an expletive. They know all this stuff.
Oh.
She would later testify she heard Lizzie laughing immediately after this. She did not see Lizzie, but she stated that the laughter was coming from the top of the stairs. That part is chilling to me. This was later considered significant because Abby's body was visible through the gap between the bed and the floor when climbing the stairs, only becoming hidden by the bed upon reaching the top. Lizzie later denied being upstairs and testified that her father had asked her where Abby was, and she had replied that a messenger had delivered a summons to visit a sick friend. Sounds likely. Lizzie stated that she then removed Andrew's boots, her father, and helped him into his slippers before he lay down on the sofa for a nap. However, in his death photo, his shoes are clearly visible.
I'm sorry. Wait, where was the butler?
There's only the
During all
maid,
of
Bridget.
this? So where was the maid when she killed the stepmother?
I think they somehow got her out of the house.
Okay.
So yes, this is how she got her out of the house. She informed Bridget of a department store sale and permitted her to go.
Of course.
But Bridget felt unwell and went to take a nap in her bedroom instead. Sounds like Lizzie was trying to get her out of the house,
For sure.
doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Lizzie gave 2 different accounts of what happened next. Originally, she stated she went up to the barn to look for iron or tin to fix the door and remained in the loft for 20 or 30 minutes eating pears. I mean, what kind of alibi is that?
I could eat pears for that long, though.
I could eat a pear for hours.
Me too. I could eat, yeah.
Police were skeptical, alleging that it was unlikely that anyone could stand the stifling heat of the loft for that long, though the temperature that day only reached 83 degrees. Yeah, but up in the loft it was really hot.
Up in the loft and covered in Victorian clothing.
Exactly. They also reported finding no footprints in the dust. Let's see, I'm trying to get to the father's death. Bridget Sullivan testified that she was in her 3rd floor room, resting from cleaning windows, when just before 11:10 a.m., she heard Lizzie call from downstairs, "Maggie, come quick, Father's dead. Somebody came in and killed him."
Ooh.
Lizzie always called Bridget Sullivan Maggie, the name of an earlier maid. I mean, that's a bitch move.
Yeah, it is.
Andrew was slumped on the couch in the downstairs sitting room, struck 10 or 11 times with a hatchet-like weapon. One of his eyeballs had been split clearly in 2, suggesting that he had been asleep when attacked. His still bleeding wounds suggested quite a recent attack. Now, I will add, too, that in doing this research, I didn't try to find the murder photos, but they came right up and I saw them.
I was going to, they were.
They were there.
Wait. Okay. I'm going to have to look this up. I know it's gross, but I'm going to have to.
Now, yeah, I mean, they're not that bad. They're creepy, but they're black and white.
Yeah.
So I feel like that makes them a lot less gruesome.
Yeah.
So at this point, Lizzie becomes a suspect and a media sensation. This is from an article called Lizzie Borden, Murderess or Media Sensation by Barbara Maranzani. I have to say it. In August 1892, Andrew and Abby Borden were found murdered in their Massachusetts home. As we know, Andrew's daughter Lizzie would be tried for their murders. And in the end, as we know, she was acquitted of all charges. I don't know if everybody knows that.
I didn't know she was acquitted.
She was acquitted.
So how so?
So in the end, they decided that sweet, innocent little Lizzie could never have done this. In an era where women were considered the weaker sex and female murderers were nearly unheard of, the trial and subsequent acquittal of Lizzie Borden made her a media sensation. Officially, the case remains unsolved. But Lizzie Borden may have very well taken the axe to end her parents' lives that sweltering summer day. But here's the thing. There are many people who might have wanted Andrew Borden dead.
Ooh.
There is also a lack of forensic evidence. The townspeople pretty much swamped the crime scene. They
of course.
tromped all through it. They ruined a lot of evidence. They moved the body. I mean, nobody was expecting anything like this.
Mm-hmm.
And
also hair samples and all of that, blood spatter was not really a thing.
She just basically did a lot of suspicious things. She obviously tried to get seemingly obviously tried to get the maid out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about hearing her laughing on the stairs destroys me a little bit.
Yeah.
But why has this case gotten so much attention? I mean, you hear about it all the time.
I mean, it's a rhyme that I've known since I was a child.
And it used to scare me so bad. I didn't know anything about her, but the rhyme terrified me.
Me too.
And I actually think for me, that's why I've wanted to learn more about it, because it kind of takes the power out of the rhyme. Once you know what happens.
It really does.
So they say that Lizzie's trial was one of the first trials in American history that both fueled and was fueled by major mass marketing with newspapers and magazines. And she was also a media sensation because her trial exposed the sleazy shortcomings of high society, which the poor masses love.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, ooh, this rich girl.
Brings them down to earth and brings the poor up a little higher.
Yeah. So, despite her newfound notoriety and her neighbors' whispers about her likely guilt, Lizzie chose to remain in Fall River for the rest of her life.
She wasn't hiding from anything.
Yeah. She and Emma inherited their father's estate. Interesting. Gaining the financial freedom they had long craved. And some people say that maybe the sister
both of them
was involved as well. Lizzie bought a large house in one of the city's most fashionable neighborhoods and spent her time traveling to Boston and New York to indulge her love of theater. And this is where I know I shouldn't be happy for her, but I kind of am.
What?
Just that she got to live that life.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. They were so deprived, although knowing that it wasn't necessary, that I could definitely see the two of them being involved and then being like, now I'm going to go live the life that I should be living with this wealth.
I mean, I could see, not that it's right, but I can see how all of this could just boil over on that summer's day when everybody's puking on spoiled mutton and your father's just murdered all your beloved pets. You might lose it a little bit.
Yeah.
So just 5 years after the murder, Lizzie was briefly in headlines again when she was accused of but not tried for shoplifting. In 1905, the sisters became estranged over Lizzie's relationship with the actress Nance O'Neill, which Emma allegedly disapproved of. So Lizzie may have also been a little bit ahead of her time there too.
Yes.
It sounds like she was maybe had a relationship with this actress. All of that, I wouldn't be happy for her, living her best life. But it's also very, very, very likely that she killed her parents.
Yeah.
So I have complicated feelings about this case.
So where does that rhyme come from? Does it say?
It's incorrect.
It is incorrect.
Yeah.
There was like 17 to the mother.
Yeah, and like 10 or 11 to the father.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just, because it was so
best way it
famous.
rhymed. Yeah.
Yeah, and because the whole thing got so sensationalized.
I mean, you could just round up to the nearest tens and say, gave her mother 20 whacks, and when she saw what she had done, she gave her father 21.
Yeah.
Why 40? I guess it's not as exciting.
I know. It's just, to me, that's plenty exciting, but to the children on the schoolyard, not so much.
That's right. Could you imagine? Oh my God. Think of the kids in their creepy 1800s clothing, just clad with brown and sad faces. Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, gave her father 41. Yay!
Now, Lizzie did
Sleep
some
well tonight.
things. Yeah, she made herself look a little bit guilty, too. After the trial, she apparently burned a dress that was covered in red stains.
Okay.
That doesn't look too good.
Oh, no.
And when somebody called her on it, they're like, dude, you burn in a dress that's covered in red stains and you're a murder suspect. Oh, I got paint on it, she said.
Yeah.
Also, apparently, she had been spotted at one of the local drugstores trying to buy poison. Slightly before the murders. Some people even speculate that that's why the family was sick.
Ooh.
But this chemical she bought, she said she was using for some kind of cleaning project.
It was rat poison.
Yes, I had to kill the rats.
Oh my gosh.
Now, that was a very incomplete. I'm sure like the Lizzie Borden experts would just be like, just banging their head against a wall and pulling out their hair.
Same with mine.
Yeah, but you get the idea. And if you want to know more, you can look it up. You can listen to the Lizzie Borden podcast, which I plan on subscribing
There's
to.
actually like
There
it's
is
straight up
a
Lizzie Borden.
Straight up Lizzie Borden podcast.
What?
If you are even more hardcore, you can stay in the Lizzie Borden Museum bed and breakfast.
What? Is it the house?
Yes, the family's home has been reconstructed to look just as it did when the murders took place.
Oh my gosh, I want to go. It's in Massachusetts.
And they
Massachusetts.
So this is called dark tourism. Maybe we need to cover this all on its own, but it's one of the preeminent locations of dark tourism in our country. Visitors can take a guided tour of the house, visit the gift shop where the barn once stood, buy Lizzie bobbleheads.
Oh, yeah.
Stay overnight, including in Lizzie's bedroom or the room where Abby was murdered.
Oh my gosh.
The museum has several thousands of visitors each year. And when I looked this up, it was right before Halloween, and they were doing all kinds of special tours.
Oh my gosh.
And events.
We need to do that and Salem.
Yes. We need to travel this country doing a dark tourism escapade.
I know, and I don't even like this shit.
I know.
I mean, no, I do.
I do too. But I mean, I wouldn't say it's my number one, but it's big. You know, it's.
I love true crime is my
Yes.
thing. I'm so skeptical of ghosts and ghouls and that kind of stuff. But I love it at the same time.
I love it too. And I love all the mystery. I love and the psychology behind this one, like what was going on, not only with Lizzie herself, but with the public at the time, that they got so obsessed with this case.
It's so true. Like, to be a fly on the wall at that time.
I know.
Like, and there's no way to really know anymore.
No.
Like, there's no way to do any kind of forensic study. I'm sure if this thing were to happen now in our lifetime right now, we'd be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, it was actually the maid.
It was
or
obvious.
It
yeah.
was definitely the girls, and they were suffering from folie too. Who knows?
It could totally work. Also, I think they brought the skulls into the courtroom. I mean, they did, like, this was just crazy.
That's not even a thing anymore. Like, that's not even, you don't bring skulls into
Yes. Oh, it says the presence of the hatchet-riddled skulls of Andrew and Abby Borden shocked those in the courtroom, leading to a dramatic and perhaps well-timed swoon by Lizzie.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it reminds me of Cannibal the Musical.
I love it.
Which I'm so happy that we finally got to watch and that you loved.
The sky is blue
And all the leaves are green. My heart's as full as a baked potato. I know,
you know
precisely what I mean when I say it's a spadoinkle day. When I say it's a spadoinkle dear, doinkle dear, doinkle dear.
And that's Lizzie Borden, folks. Listen to the History Chicks podcast if you want a really well-researched rendition of this.
Nice.
They're great.
Oh, I love it.
And they live in Kansas City.
That was so good. That was we should get with the History Chicks,
Want
baby.
to meet them. They're awesome.
And Nashville.
I would total girl
Just
crush.
hook us up.
They're two of my podcast girl crushes. Of course, Karen and Georgia, who we're
Yeah.
going to see next month.
Next month. I have found a new podcast.
What is it?
The Mystery Show.
The Mystery Show. I love the Mystery
It's
Show.
so good.
I got obsessed with it.
I was so bummed that there were freaking 6 episodes and done. She is the most charming.
Why did she do that?
I don't
Why?
know.
She edited it so ingeniously.
It was edited so geniusly. She did the whole thing so well.
freaking adorable.
My thoughts are, like, there's only so much. Freaking freak. She spent so much money to go see
Yes.
Brittany
Yes.
to solve a mystery. Like, maybe it wasn't as well funded as she needed it to be. But guys,
Mystery Show.
read it and let's get this girl refunded. Let's get her solving mysteries because she is so charming and so cute.
I'm in love with her.
I am too. I've never seen a picture of her, and I know that she is probably the cutest freaking person that there is on this
She
earth.
has to be.
Yes.
Subscribe to the Mystery Show
Yeah.
and the History Chicks. You won't be sorry.
Okay.
And we're going to start leaving our favorite podcast good reviews.
Let's do that. And, to start, let's leave Folie, Deux. Which,
Yeah.
that's who we are, by the way. I'm Melody.
Oh, yeah. This is Folie, Deux. And I'm Amy.
And leave us a review. Listen, Amy's birthday's coming up, and that's all she wants for her birthday.
That's really all I want.
You don't owe her anything. Everybody was born, unless you weren't. But you...
Who will just separate that little clip out and play it over and over again? My husband hates birthdays.
Well, it like, listen, the older I am, I'm like, it's a meep day. Everybody in the world who's ever been and ever will be is born.
Do you want a mother meeping trophy?
Come on, guys.
If you did something good, I'll give you a present.
But you were just born. It was luck.
It was luck. I'm not going to go and spend $200 on dinner and a spa day and a present.
Ugh.
If you're just
Actually,
No, that sounds really nice.
I've done that.
Yeah,
We are going to My Favorite Murder.
that's true. You
For your
totally
birthday.
did that. But I've, in some mysterious, bizarre, undeserved way, I've earned it.
You have earned it by one, being my best friend. Also, I remember your birthday last year. We hadn't decided yet that we were
Yeah.
BFF.
Mhm. Can you
And
believe that?
I know, that's crazy. I consider that like our true anniversary.
Yeah.
I gave you I will not forget, I showed you how to start bullet journaling.
Mhm.
And I got you some stuff to do bullet journaling and a thing that goes around any kind of journal that an elastic band that you can put pens in.
And
All
I
different
started
pens.
wearing it as a headband.
You wore it as a headband. And part of me was like, she knows it's for pens. And part of me was like, does she know it's for pens?
I think at first I may have not known it was for pens, but that just made it an even cooler headband.
Exactly. And that's what I thought. Like, you put it on your head and I was like, actually that could work. Either way, she will
Either
always have a
way,
pen.
It was not a deal breaker, and I had found my best friend.
Yeah, and I made you, a painting.
You made me a painting, which sits on my desk. You made me a gift bag with my name in my favorite color, and it's still on my corkboard in my room.
Yeah, for those of you who couldn't understand that. Oh, well, I'm excited that we are going to share my favorite murder for your birthday this year. I'm going to leave you a review because I'm that kind of person. Guys, I am the kind of person who, if I love something, I will let it be known.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't know how, I won't be scared to find out.
That really looked like a threat, and I loved it. Listen to me. True love is not deserved. It is
Subscribe to.
subscribe.
It is subscribed to.
It is subscribed to, like this podcast.
You either do it willingly or you don't.
Or you give us your phone and
Let us
your
do it for you.
login, and we will take care of it.
Mhm.
Come find us.
You know what? Maybe we should do a video tutorial on every single podcast outlet that there is.
Let's do
on
it.
how to do
one
reviews.
a week.
Mhm.
I love it.
Okay. If you guys want that, let us know. In the meantime, whether you rate, review, and subscribe or not, we love you.
We even like you.
We care about you.
We just need you to do one thing.
Please, please
Tell all your friends
we
like
love cotton candy.
Bye. Wave when we wave.
Oh, shit.